Ladies and gentlemen, before you take a step, before you make a decision, before you even begin your day, pray first and seek God's face. We live in a world that teaches us to rely on logic, strategy, and human understanding. But true transformation, real breakthroughs, and lasting peace come when we align our hearts with the divine. Prayer is not just a ritual. It is a shift in consciousness, a bridge between the seen and the unseen, a connection to infinite intelligence. When you pray first, you invite God into your life, your choices, your struggles, and your victories. You move beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond the limitations of the past, and step into a future designed by faith. So today, let's unlock a higher level of being. Let's learn why seeking God's face first will change everything. Prayer aligns you with divine wisdom because it opens the doorway to a higher intelligence, an intelligence that is not bound by past experiences, external conditions, or human limitations. When you pray, you are not just speaking words into the air. You are engaging with a power far greater than yourself, a power that sees beyond what your eyes can perceive and understands beyond what your mind can comprehend. Prayer is not a passive act. It is an intentional connection to the source of all creation, a direct line to the wisdom that orchestrates the universe with perfect harmony. When you align yourself with divine wisdom through prayer, you move beyond the conditioned patterns of your subconscious mind. Most people live their lives repeating the same thoughts, making the same choices, and experiencing the same emotions day after day. They operate from a state of limitation, relying only on their personal history and logical reasoning to navigate life. But divine wisdom does not operate on the level of the past. It exists in the realm of the infinite. It is not confined by human understanding or restricted by what is seen. It is an intelligence that speaks in the stillness, guiding you toward what is truly meant for you. Many people approach prayer as a last resort when all else fails, but the power of prayer is most profound when it is the first step, not the final option. When you pray first, before you make a decision, before you take action, before you react to circumstances, you create space for divine wisdom to move in your life. You invite guidance that surpasses logic, and you begin to see possibilities that were once hidden. Instead of forcing solutions through effort and struggle, you align yourself with answers that come through divine insight. The human mind is limited by what it knows, but divine wisdom transcends knowledge. There are moments when life presents challenges that seem impossible to resolve, where the mind races to find solutions, but nothing seems to work. In these moments, prayer becomes the bridge between confusion and clarity. Instead of being trapped in the endless loop of overthinking, you shift into a space of surrender. And in that surrender, you access something greater than yourself, an intelligence that can orchestrate the perfect outcome in ways you never imagined. Through prayer, you tap into a higher level of consciousness. Science has shown that when people engage in deep states of meditation or prayer, their brain waves shift from chaotic beta states into coherent alpha and theta states. This shift allows the mind to move beyond stress and enter a state of receptivity. It is in this state that divine wisdom flows. Answers come not through effort, but through stillness. Solutions emerge not through force, but through alignment. The more you practice seeking God's presence first, the more you attune yourself to receiving insight beyond human comprehension. Many times people struggle with making decisions because they are caught between their desires and their fears. They hesitate, they doubt, and they analyze every possible outcome, trying to control the future. But divine wisdom does not require struggle, it requires trust. When you pray first, you bypass the limitations of your analytical mind and access a wisdom that sees the full picture. You no longer operate from a place of fear, but from a place of knowing. You move with confidence, not because you have all the answers, but because you trust that the right answers will be revealed in divine timing. The world teaches us to rely on knowledge, but knowledge alone is not enough. Knowledge is information. Wisdom is transformation. Divine wisdom is the ability to see beyond appearances, to discern truth from illusion, to move in alignment with a purpose greater than yourself. And prayer is the key that unlocks that wisdom. It shifts your focus from external circumstances to internal guidance, from reacting to the world to responding from a place of spiritual insight. Prayer is not about asking for what you think you need. It is about aligning yourself with what God already knows is best for you. It is about surrendering your limited perspective and stepping into the infinite possibilities that exist beyond your current understanding. When you pray, you are not just seeking answers. You are aligning yourself with the source of all answers. You are tuning into a wisdom that is always present, always available, and always guiding you toward the highest version of yourself. Every breakthrough, every moment of clarity, every inspired action begins with alignment. And alignment begins with prayer. When you start your day with prayer, you set the tone for everything that follows. When you make decisions through prayer, you move with confidence rather than uncertainty. When you seek divine wisdom first, you eliminate unnecessary stress and struggle. You no longer have to figure everything out on your own because you understand that there is a greater intelligence working on your behalf. When you pray first, you shift from relying on your own strength to relying on God's wisdom. You stop trying to force outcomes and begin allowing divine guidance to unfold naturally. You start seeing beyond obstacles and recognizing opportunities that were always there but hidden from your view. You move with an inner peace that cannot be shaken by external circumstances because you know that you are being led by something far greater than yourself. Prayer is not a ritual, it is a realignment with truth. It is the practice of stepping out of fear and into faith, out of struggle and into flow. Seeking God first brings clarity and peace because it shifts your focus from the chaos of the world to the stillness of divine presence. Life is filled with distractions, uncertainties, and pressures that often pull people in different directions. The mind becomes cluttered with worries about the future, regrets from the past, and the constant noise of daily responsibilities. When you begin your day, your decisions, and your journey by seeking God first, you create space for clarity to emerge. You step away from the confusion of external circumstances and align yourself with a higher intelligence that sees beyond what your physical eyes can perceive. Clarity does not come from overthinking or trying to control every outcome. It comes from stillness, from a deep connection with God that allows wisdom to flow effortlessly. Many people spend their lives searching for answers, chasing after solutions, and trying to make sense of their situations. But the most profound insights do not come from the mind's efforts. They come from the moments when the soul is in harmony with God. Seeking Him first means surrendering the need to have everything figured out and trusting that divine wisdom will illuminate the next step. When you put God first, you remove the distractions that keep you from hearing His voice. The world operates at a fast pace, pushing people to act, react, and move without pausing to reflect. But clarity is not found in speed. It is found in stillness. It is in those quiet moments of seeking God that the mind becomes calm and the path ahead becomes clear. When you prioritize seeking Him, you train yourself to listen beyond the noise, to discern what is true from what is temporary, and to align your decisions with divine purpose rather than worldly pressure. Peace is the natural result of clarity. When you know that you are moving in alignment with God's will, you no longer carry the weight of uncertainty. Fear loses its grip because you are no longer relying on your limited understanding to navigate life. Seeking God first allows you to operate from a place of faith rather than fear, from confidence rather than confusion. The more you cultivate this connection, the more you realize that peace is not something you achieve through external circumstances. It is something you access within, through your relationship with God. Many people believe that peace comes when everything in life is going well, but true peace is independent of circumstances. It is not the absence of problems, but the presence of God within you. Seeking Him first means that no matter what is happening around you, you remain centered and unshaken. You develop a deep inner knowing that you are guided, protected, and supported, regardless of what challenges may arise. This kind of peace cannot be taken away because it is not dependent on external conditions. It is rooted in spiritual alignment. Clarity also brings a sense of purpose. When you seek God first, you begin to see beyond temporary distractions and recognize what truly matters. The world constantly presents new desires, ambitions, and pursuits, many of which lead people away from their true calling. But when you seek divine guidance before making decisions, you ensure that your path is not shaped by external influences, but by a higher purpose. You stop chasing things that do not fulfill you and start walking in a direction that aligns with your soul's true mission. The greatest breakthroughs in life come when you are in alignment with God. Instead of forcing doors open, you begin to notice the ones that were meant for you all along. Instead of exhausting yourself trying to create opportunities, you start recognizing the divine appointments that have already been prepared. Seeking God first puts you in a position where you no longer waste energy on what is not meant for you, and you begin to focus on the things that truly matter. When your mind is clear and your heart is at peace, you are no longer driven by fear, urgency, or the expectations of others. You are guided by wisdom, by faith, and by a deep sense of knowing that comes from being in alignment with God. Seeking Him first does not mean that life will always be easy, but it does mean that you will always have clarity in your direction and peace in your heart. The storms of life may come, but they will not shake you because you are anchored in something far greater than yourself. The more you practice seeking God first, the more natural it becomes to trust Him in every situation. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding with wisdom. You stop striving for control and start flowing with divine guidance. You begin to see how everything in your life is connected, how every challenge has a purpose, and how every decision made in alignment with God leads to greater peace and fulfillment. Seeking Him first is not just about prayer. It is about creating a lifestyle where His presence is the foundation of everything you do. Faith in God strengthens your mind and spirit because it shifts your perspective from limitations to possibilities, from fear to trust, and from uncertainty to confidence. The human mind is often filled with doubts, worries, and overthinking, constantly trying to predict outcomes and control situations. But faith is the ability to see beyond what is visible, to trust in the unseen, and to believe in a greater plan even when the path is unclear. When you cultivate faith, you rewire your mind to operate from a place of strength rather than weakness, from a place of divine assurance rather than human anxiety. The mind is shaped by repeated thoughts and beliefs. Many people unknowingly program themselves to live in fear and doubt because they focus on what could go wrong rather than what could go right. But faith is a different kind of programming. It trains your mind to expect breakthroughs instead of breakdowns, to see solutions instead of problems, and to trust in divine timing rather than human urgency. When you strengthen your faith, you take control of your internal world, ensuring that your thoughts are aligned with possibility rather than limitation. Faith does not ignore reality. It transforms how you perceive it. Challenges will always exist, but faith allows you to see them as stepping stones rather than obstacles. Instead of viewing difficulties as signs of failure, you begin to recognize them as opportunities for growth and transformation. When your mind is grounded in faith, you no longer react to adversity with panic or frustration. You respond with wisdom and patience, knowing that every situation is part of a divine process. Faith strengthens your ability to remain calm in the midst of uncertainty, to trust that things are working in your favor even when you cannot see how. The strength of the Spirit comes from the depth of your faith. The world places so much emphasis on external strength, physical power, financial stability, and social influence, but true strength is internal. It is the ability to stand firm when everything around you is shifting, to remain steady when life presents storms, and to keep moving forward when the future is uncertain. Faith gives you the resilience to keep going, to rise after setbacks, and to push through when others would give up. It is a force that carries you beyond your own limitations, beyond what you think you are capable of, and into the realm of what God has designed for you. When your spirit is strong, you do not allow circumstances to dictate your emotions or decisions. You move with an unshakable sense of purpose because you know that your life is not just a series of random events, but a carefully orchestrated journey guided by divine wisdom. Faith strengthens your ability to see beyond temporary setbacks, to trust in the timing of your blessings, and to remain steadfast in your pursuit of God's will. It gives you the endurance to keep praying, keep believing, and keep working toward what you know is meant for you. Faith also shapes your identity. Many people struggle with self-doubt and insecurity because they base their worth on external validation. They seek approval from others, measure themselves by worldly success, and allow failures to define them. But faith in God gives you a different foundation. It reminds you that your value is not determined by what others think, but by who God says you are. You are not defined by your past mistakes, your struggles, or your weaknesses. You are defined by the divine purpose placed within you. Faith strengthens your confidence, not in yourself alone, but in the power of God working through you. Fear loses its power in the presence of faith. The enemy of the mind is fear, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. But faith overcomes fear because it places trust in something greater than human logic. Fear says, what if things go wrong? Faith says, even if they do, God has a plan. Fear keeps you stuck in hesitation and doubt. But faith moves you forward with courage. It gives you the boldness to step out, to take risks, to believe in the impossible, and to trust that whatever happens, you are being guided by divine wisdom. When faith is your foundation, peace becomes your state of mind. You no longer live in anxiety over things you cannot control because you understand that God is already handling them. You no longer worry about what is next because you trust that each step is being revealed in divine order. Faith replaces stress with surrender, replacing the need to figure everything out with the understanding that God's plan is always greater than anything you could design for yourself. It gives you a sense of ease, an inner calm that remains even when life presents challenges. Faith also strengthens your ability to inspire and uplift others. When you operate from a place of trust in God, people around you notice the difference. Your presence becomes a source of encouragement. Your words carry wisdom, and your actions reflect a deep sense of purpose. You no longer spread doubt and negativity. Instead, you become a light, a reminder to others that faith is not just a belief, but a way of living. It allows you to lead by example, showing others that true strength comes from surrendering to divine guidance rather than relying solely on human effort. Prayer opens doors that human effort alone cannot, because it connects you to divine power, wisdom, and guidance beyond what the mind can comprehend. Many people spend their lives trying to force opportunities, striving to control outcomes, and exhausting themselves in pursuit of success. Yet they find themselves stuck, frustrated, or overwhelmed. But when prayer becomes the foundation of your journey, you shift from struggle to alignment, from stress to peace, and from uncertainty to confidence. Prayer is not just a ritual. It is a direct connection to God, a means of tapping into a higher intelligence that knows the best path for your life. When you rely solely on your strength, you are limited by your understanding, resources, and abilities. But prayer invites divine intervention, allowing things to align in ways you could never orchestrate on your own. There are doors that remain closed despite human effort, but prayer has the power to unlock what seemed impossible. It shifts the atmosphere, moves circumstances in your favor, and positions you for opportunities that you may not even be aware of yet. Prayer is not about begging for blessings, but about aligning yourself with God's will so that you can step into what has already been prepared for you. Many breakthroughs in life are not the result of perfect planning, but of divine timing. There are moments when an opportunity presents itself, and it feels as if everything has fallen into place effortlessly. That is the power of prayer. It ensures that you are in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, and making decisions that lead to your highest good. When you seek God through prayer, you are not just asking for things. You are positioning yourself to receive what has been destined for you. Prayer creates alignment, and alignment creates effortless flow. There is a difference between forcing a door open and walking through one that God has already prepared. Many people waste energy chasing things that are not meant for them, trying to manipulate situations or convince others to see their value. But prayer eliminates the need for struggle. It brings the right opportunities to you, the right relationships into your life, and the right direction for your journey. It removes distractions and ensures that you are pursuing what is truly meant for you rather than what appears good on the surface. Prayer also gives you the patience to wait for the right doors to open. Impatience often leads people to settle for less than what they deserve or to walk through doors that were never meant for them. But when you trust God's timing, you develop the faith to wait, knowing that what is meant for you cannot be taken away. The world operates on urgency, pushing people to act quickly and take whatever is available. But prayer teaches you that divine timing is always perfect. It allows you to move with confidence rather than desperation, knowing that what God has for you is far greater than anything you could force into existence. Opportunities that come through prayer are sustainable and fulfilling. Many people achieve success only to find that it does not bring them peace or joy. They climb ladders that lead to emptiness because they pursued what seemed right rather than what was divinely aligned. But prayer ensures that the doors you walk through will not only bring you success, but also peace, purpose, and long-term fulfillment. It protects you from stepping into situations that look good but are not truly meant for you. It helps you discern the difference between what is temporary and what is eternal, what is a distraction and what is a divine assignment. Prayer also strengthens your ability to recognize the right doors when they appear. Many times, opportunities are overlooked because they do not arrive in the way expected. But when you are in constant communication with God, you develop the spiritual sensitivity to recognize His hand in your life. You no longer rely solely on logic or external validation. You develop an inner knowing that guides you toward the right path. You begin to trust the small nudges, the divine signs, and the moments of clarity that come when you least expect them. The doors that open through prayer are not just for personal gain, but also for greater purpose. When God blesses you, it is never just for you alone. It is so that you can be a blessing to others. Many people pray for success, wealth, and opportunities, but the greatest doors are the ones that allow you to impact lives, to uplift others, and to fulfill your divine calling. When you pray, you are not only asking for doors to open for yourself, but also for the ability to be a vessel through which God's power can flow. Prayer transforms obstacles into stepping stones. What once seemed like a closed door can suddenly become an opportunity for growth, learning, and redirection. Sometimes a door remains closed, not as a rejection, but as protection. Prayer allows you to trust that if something does not work out, it is because something better is being prepared. It removes the need for frustration and replaces it with faith, knowing that every delay has a purpose, every setback is a setup, and every no is leading to a greater yes. Faith is not just about believing in what you cannot see. It is about trusting in God's plan, even when your circumstances seem to contradict the promises He has placed in your heart. It is easy to have faith when things are going well, when prayers are being answered, and when life appears to be moving in the direction you desire. But true faith is tested in the moments of uncertainty, in the waiting seasons, in the times when you cannot see how things will come together. It is in those moments that faith becomes an anchor, keeping you steady when everything around you feels unstable. When you pray, you are not just speaking words into the air. You are activating faith. Prayer is the bridge between your current reality and the future God has prepared for you. It is the declaration that, despite what things look like now, you trust that God is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Many times, answers to prayer do not come in an instant, and that is where faith plays its role. Faith is what allows you to keep moving forward even when the outcome is unclear. It is what gives you the strength to continue believing when doubt tries to creep in. Faith is not passive, it is active. It requires you to align your thoughts, words, and actions with what you believe God is doing in your life. Many people pray for change, but continue to act in ways that contradict their prayers. They ask for opportunities, but remain stuck in fear. They pray for open doors, but refuse to walk in boldness when doors appear. Faith requires movement. It demands that you step forward even when you do not have all the answers. It is about taking action based on trust, knowing that as you move, God is aligning things in your favor. One of the greatest barriers to faith is the need for control. The human mind wants certainty, it craves security, and it resists the unknown. But faith operates in the space beyond logic. It calls you to surrender the illusion of control and trust that God's plan is far greater than your own. The challenge is that surrender does not always feel comfortable. It requires you to release your timeline, your expectations, and your limited understanding. But when you do, you make space for divine intervention. You allow God to work in ways that are beyond anything you could have orchestrated on your own. Doubt is the enemy of faith, and it often creeps in when there is a delay in seeing results. The enemy wants you to question whether God is truly working, whether your prayers are making a difference, and whether the vision placed in your heart will ever come to pass. But faith is a decision. It is the choice to believe even when doubt whispers otherwise. It is the refusal to let temporary setbacks shake your confidence in the promises of God. It is the understanding that just because you do not see movement does not mean nothing is happening. Faith also requires patience. The world operates on urgency, on instant gratification, on the desire for quick results. But God's timing is perfect, and faith requires you to trust that even when things seem delayed, they are actually being arranged in divine order. Waiting is not a sign of inactivity, it is a period of preparation. There are lessons to be learned, strength to be built, and wisdom to be gained in the waiting seasons. When you embrace the process, you develop endurance, resilience, and a deeper level of trust in God's plan. Faith is also about perspective. Two people can go through the same situation, yet one will see obstacles while the other sees opportunities. The difference is faith. Faith allows you to see beyond what is in front of you and recognize that even challenges serve a greater purpose. What seems like a setback could be a setup for something greater. What appears to be rejection could be divine redirection. Faith shifts your focus from what is missing to what is possible. It allows you to see your life through the lens of God's promises rather than the limitations of your current reality. When you operate in faith, you move differently. You stop waiting for external validation before taking action. You no longer need the approval of others to believe in what God has placed in your heart. You walk with confidence, not because you have all the answers, but because you know that the one who holds your future is guiding your steps. Faith allows you to release fear and embrace boldness. It removes the hesitation that comes from uncertainty and replaces it with a deep sense of assurance that everything is unfolding as it should. Faith is the foundation of a life that is guided by God. It is what allows you to pray with expectation, to move forward with confidence, and to trust even when you do not understand. It is the key that unlocks doors, the force that shifts atmospheres, and the power that turns impossibilities into realities. Faith is not just a belief, it is a way of living, a mindset, and a spiritual force that aligns you with the unlimited possibilities of God's plan. When you prioritize prayer, you align yourself with divine wisdom and clarity. Many people move through life reacting to circumstances instead of proactively shaping their reality through connection with God. Prayer is not just about asking for things. It is about cultivating a relationship with the Creator, allowing His guidance to shape your decisions, your mindset, and your actions. When you start with prayer, you enter a state of divine alignment where your thoughts, words, and intentions are infused with purpose. You are no longer led by impulse or fear, but by a deep sense of trust in the higher plan that is unfolding for you. Prayer is the foundation for inner peace. The world is filled with distractions, noise, and chaos, all designed to pull you away from your divine center. Without prayer, it is easy to become overwhelmed, to feel lost, and to lose sight of the greater picture. But when you pray first, you establish a sense of calm and perspective. You remind yourself that you are not alone, that you are supported by a force far greater than any challenge you may face. This peace is not dependent on circumstances. It is an unshakable inner knowing that regardless of what happens externally, you are anchored in faith. Many people wait until they are in trouble to pray, turning to God only when they feel desperate. But a life of faith is not built on crisis driven prayers. It is built on consistent communion with God. When you make prayer a priority, you cultivate spiritual resilience. You develop an inner strength that allows you to navigate life's uncertainties with grace. Prayer becomes a daily practice, not just something you turn to when you need help, but a way of living that keeps you connected to the source of all wisdom and power. Through prayer, you develop discernment. Life presents countless choices, opportunities, and challenges. Without divine guidance, it is easy to be led by emotions, external pressures, or fleeting desires. But when you pray first, you invite God's wisdom into your decision-making process. You gain clarity on which path to take, which doors to walk through, and which distractions to avoid. Prayer refines your intuition, allowing you to move with confidence, knowing that your steps are ordered by a higher power. One of the greatest struggles people face is anxiety about the future. The uncertainty of what lies ahead can create fear, doubt, and hesitation, but prayer shifts your perspective from worry to faith. It reminds you that while you may not know every detail of the journey, you can trust the one who does. When you pray, you release the need to control outcomes and surrender to divine timing. This surrender is not weakness. It is the ultimate strength because it acknowledges that God's plan is greater than your limited understanding. Prayer also transforms the way you see obstacles. What may seem like a setback could be a setup for something greater. When you pray first, you reframe challenges as opportunities for growth and transformation. Instead of reacting with frustration, you approach difficulties with a mindset of faith. You understand that every test has a purpose, every delay has meaning, and every closed door is redirecting you towards something better. This shift in perspective allows you to move through life with resilience, knowing that nothing is happening to you, but rather for you. Another powerful aspect of prayer is gratitude. Many people focus on what is missing in their lives, constantly seeking more without appreciating what they already have. But prayer shifts your focus from lack to abundance. It reminds you to be grateful for the blessings you have, no matter how small. Gratitude is a magnet for more blessings. When you pray with a thankful heart, you open yourself to receive even greater things. You begin to see life through a lens of appreciation rather than dissatisfaction. Prayer strengthens your relationship with God. Just like any relationship, connection requires communication. If you never speak to a friend, the relationship weakens. The same applies to your spiritual life. When you make prayer a habit, you deepen your connection with God. You become more attuned to His voice, more aware of His presence, and more receptive to His guidance. This intimacy allows you to move through life with a sense of companionship, knowing that you are never alone. Beyond personal benefits, prayer has the power to impact those around you. When you pray not just for yourself, but for others, you become a vessel of love and light. Your prayers can uplift, heal, and encourage those who are struggling. Prayer creates a ripple effect, extending divine energy beyond your own life and into the lives of others. When you make prayer a priority, you become an instrument of change, bringing hope and faith into the world around you. Faith without action is incomplete, and prayer without belief lacks power. When you pray, do so with the expectation that your words are being heard. Move through life as if your prayers have already been answered, aligning your actions with the faith you profess. This level of belief accelerates manifestation because it demonstrates trust in God's promises. When you pray first, seek divine wisdom, and act in faith, you create a life that is guided by purpose, filled with peace, and anchored in the assurance that you are exactly where you are meant to be.